everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of, a podcast about movies and TV shows and video games and lots of pop culture nerd things.
Yay.
My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today, and with me per usual are all of your other hosts.
Woo-hoo.
We have Alex, Brian, and Devin all in the house.
Full house, baby.
Hello, everyone.
What is up?
Wow, that was a long silence.
I said something.
Like, is something expected of me? I don't know.
I thought somebody else was going to say something.
Just a hello.
That
hello.
Spring forward for an hour really fucked everyone up. Apparently.
Hell yeah, it did.
No, that was very demoralizing to wake up to that today. I was like, wait a minute. Did we
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
This is the bad daylight savings.
Daylight savings is bad, and you should feel bad, and it shouldn't exist anymore. It's 2022.
Yeah.
Grow
I
up.
agree.
Get it out of here.
I like springing forward though. I like now. I like at least
Just stay now. Yeah,
we get more sun, which is great. Sun is good for everybody.
That's true.
So
I agree. Don't fall back. Let's just keep it like this forever.
True.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get to it. Thank you for listening, listeners. Check the time codes for anything you want to skip to or any spoilery stuff. It'll all be down there, just to let you all know. So with that, let's get into our first segment of the week,
Ooh.
which you like to call
News talk.
About that time.
Okay, first up, it's the big one. Let's just get straight to it. Disney dropped the first teaser for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Woo-hoo!
Absolutely.
My God.
Finally.
Massive news.
Hallelujah.
I'm super excited for this. More than I've been excited for anything they've made.
Duel of the Fates. Ugh, still the best song in Star Wars, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's somehow underrated, even though I hear it everywhere. I'm still like, it's
The
not
song?
appreciated
The song
enough.
is underrated?
The song, I think so.
No.
I mean, the song is constantly running in my brain at like 30%. So
you're just constantly dealing with the internal struggle that
man.
Anakin had.
Yeah.
the struggle to kill
That's
younglings.
basically like his like turn to the dark side moment, right?
Mhm.
It's every time like I pick a cereal, I'm choosing between two. And that runs through my head. But yeah, let's just go off. It looks so much better than Boba Fett. I feel bad we're shitting on Boba Fett all the time, but like you kind of deserve it. Do better. But just yeah, we get the desert. We're obviously getting a bit of desert,
Ugh.
but it also just looks like a different desert. It's amazing,
It just looks a little bit better.
It's amazing what happens when you just change the sand.
right? He looks great. We all knew
Mhm.
what he looked like. He's still relevant, but like that moment when he first says we lost, I'm like, yeah, y'all fucked up. y'all really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the look he's got going on. I love like the old disheveled kind of a little bit sadder
Mhm.
Obi-Wan. I really wonder if he's going to change his name by the end of the series to Ben, or if he's going to be
Ben.
introducing himself as Ben to everybody.
Probably, but man, that sounds so lame.
It is a pretty lame Star
also,
Wars
like,
name.
He never changes his last name.
No, it's so dumb. Oh, it's so dumb.
So he's like, this is definitely an alias. I'm hiding from the Empire, but I got to change my name from Obi-Wan
Right.
to Ben.
They're all like, "Where is Kenobi?" And he's like, "Oh, Ben, he lives over
Like,
there."
is
It's
Kenobi like the
it's you.
equivalent of Jackson in that that
Yeah,
world,
maybe.
or like is Kenobi? Because I feel like if I heard someone named Kenobi, I don't care what their first name is. I'm like,
That's the guy.
I'm
Right.
Go check
pretty
this
sure
guy
I
out.
know you. Like,
You're like Obi-Wan? No, that's my cousin. No, we don't know. We don't
Right,
talk.
I
we
don't know
talk
who
about it. We
Obi-Wan.
don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
just also, what is with like space sagas and having like the lamest fucking first names ever? Dune does the same thing, and that's what Star Wars is
I don't
stolen
know.
a lot for it. But it's just like, my name is Skywalker, Jeff Skywalker.
Right.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Jeff.
you'll have like names like Obi-Wan and yeah.
Yeah, my
it
name's
doesn't make any sense.
Mbaktu Gadadudu, and then your name is Jeff. Just
My name is Mace Windu.
just Jeff.
Over there we have Fred.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's get to the big what looks to be the antagonist. All of the Inquisitors, not all of them, but like
Mhm.
Inquisitors seem to be the big bad. I don't know how I feel about the Grand Inquisitor's head.
Yeah, you look. It's pretty
Yeah.
round, right? So these
That
guys are
shit's
from the Clone Wars series. All the Inquisitors.
Yeah, they're from
I
Clone
know.
Wars.
I know some of them from the game Fallen Order. That they seems like
Yeah.
they're kind of touching on a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be canon or what, but I didn't watch all
I
of
think it
Clone
is.
Wars, so
In the cartoon, he was like one of those like slenderhead people. I thought that was like on the
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
planet where Obi-Wan kills Grievous. Yeah, I thought he was one of those aliens, but now it just looks like maybe for the sake of practical effects, they're just kind of making him more human.
They couldn't do the big cone head.
He looks
Right.
like once you just
So-
get out of rehab and you stop doing drugs and your face blows up because you're starting to eat
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
got
he
that
looks
look
a
to him.
little like too round. His face just looks awkward.
Yeah,
They, like went the
it's
opposite
weird.
No
direction.
offense to
Yeah.
the actor playing it.
For a second, I did think that he was Vader without a mask, but I was like, no, that's just
That's what I was
They
thinking
wouldn't give it
too.
away in a
No.
trailer like that so
and
easily.
especially when he started rotating that lightsaber.
Yeah.
like that was his MO in
Which-
the Rebels show.
That looks good. This
Yeah.
little spinny lightsaber looks dope. I'm looking forward to seeing that in live action like that. That
I think
sounds
it is gonna
awesome.
be cool.
But we also get what looks to be, hold on, I wrote it down so I don't forget. Fuck this up and all the nerds yell at me. Fifth brother, who we have seen in Rebels. Oh, spoilers. You'll see in the tags for potential spoilers for like Clone Wars and Rebels. Fifth brother's not gonna die in this. Neither is Grand Inquisitor because we watched them die in Rebels.
Oh,
so-
interesting.
Yeah, so I'm very interested in how this is going to end or anything like that. Because Fifth brother,
Right.
who in this is played by the actor that played Han in the Fast and Furious series, he's playing Fifth brother. I think that's the only one from the past that we've seen besides him in the Grand Inquisitor.
Mhm.
But it looks like their main antagonist is this new Inquisitor, Reva.
Yeah, this black lady is
yo,
fucking
she looks
dope,
tight.
and I've decided she's gonna be my favorite character of all time, and I'm gonna hyperfixate on her. Hell yeah!
I'm kind of wondering if she's going to be the Inquisitor from the Fallen Order game. Like, remember the
I
main
don't-
antagonist from Fallen Order, or did she have?
I
Yeah.
don't think that's her. There's a couple characters from Fallen Order that I'm wondering are in this. I don't think it's Reva, but there's a black character
Yeah.
who used to be, because Inquisitors are like Jedis turned dark side, right? And there's a
Mhm.
character
Yeah.
in Fallen Order who's a Jedi turned dark side, turned neutral, and just like turned away from the whole Force in general, who's also black. So I'm wondering if that's supposed to be her character.
Like
I'm
earlier on,
forgetting
maybe?
everybody's
I don't
names
think
in that
so.
game though. So I feel like
And I
it's
don't want to shit on your theory because we know for a fact it's not. Because
okay.
we know that this takes place after Fallen Order.
Oh,
Is
okay.
This takes
so?
place like 5 years after Fallen Order.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also because that actor looks exactly like she does in Fallen Order, so they probably would have just casted her. Like
Right.
she has the same face and everything. But yeah, so like all that Fallen Order stuff has already happened. So which is why we'll probably not see any of those Inquisitors. No
Gotcha.
spoilers for that game.
Mhm.
But I do think there's a chance we could see Cal Kestis in this maybe.
That
Yeah.
would be
Just
really cool.
given the Inquisitor situation.
Yeah.
That'd be really
And
cool.
same thing with him. He looks like the same person. So
Yeah.
it's possible.
I really hope they do that. He's an incredible actor.
Yeah. It'd be really cool to like just kind of blend, just even further like blend that in. I think that'd be really sick.
Yeah.
And Fallen Order was so good about like the lore and like the canon stuff that was already established in the Clone Wars show and everything like that. So it would fit pretty seamlessly, pretty easily.
So I have a small theory. Speaking of Cal from Fallen Order, so there's a moment in the trailer where we see Obi-Wan on a different planet that's not Tatooine. It's very colorful and
Mhm.
stuff.
Thank God.
And yeah, which is very exciting for sure. But I have a feeling that Obi-Wan is there because he gets some kind of hint that there's another Jedi on the run. Everybody knows Fallen Order is Cal is on the run from the Sith. He's trying to hide out and stuff, but he gets peeped, and then he's just like goes on like a chase, running away from them, and then eventually hunting them down to save himself. So I wonder if Obi-Wan goes to this planet to try to help Cal escape. We don't see Obi-Wan in the game, of course, but I wonder if he's like in the background helping Cal escape without Cal knowing who Obi-Wan is.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I hope that would happen, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because we do see like Obi-Wan is like, he's not rocking a lightsaber. He's rocking a pistol. So he could just, in the game, it could just have been like a random person with a blaster in the background type of thing. That'd be interesting. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, 'cause obviously he's trying to keep his lightsaber hidden so that the whole world doesn't know that he's a Jedi, but he's got to bust it out at some
That's all I
point. He's
wanted
going to have
from
to.
this trailer. That's all I wanted. I was
He
like,
has to
just
bust
show
it
it
out.
to me, damn it.
Just show it to me.
I hope not, but I bet you he only whips it out to fight Vader at the end of this series.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
I would be slightly disappointed by that, but it'd be a cool reveal.
I think he'll do it
so I don't
twice.
know.
I think he'll do
Yeah.
it a couple times. I'm hoping he'll fight Vader. I feel like he's going to
Yeah.
fight that girl Reva who we're talking about. I feel like
He's definitely going to fight the
I think she's gonna turn
Inquisitors.
good.
Reva's going to either. I think she's going to have to die because we don't see her anywhere else, right? So I feel like she's going to go.
Yeah, I think I agree with Oscar that she's going to turn good and then probably die after that.
Yeah.
I just like, I think that having Vader face off with Obi-Wan would be so cool, but I also think it would maybe cheapen what happens that already established
little
in the
bit.
rest of the story. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't they fight a couple times though? Isn't that a whole thing that they talk about that they've had? Like when Obi-Wan dies in the actual movies, that they talk about how like, oh, well, this is the final time we'll face each other. Anime.
Yeah. But I think that he just said, like Darth Vader's like, now I'm the master. Like, so,
Yeah.
so that, I mean, there's no telling when the last time it is that they met. but I think
It
we're all
seems like it was a
assuming-
long time though. In
Right.
that,
I think we're all
in
assuming
that
that
I
it's
don't see
Mustafar.
no motherfucking lightsaber flipping like the third movie, I will riot. I promise
Yeah,
you, I would go directly
yeah.
up to Disney Studios with my own lightsaber, and I'm gonna parry the shit out of them for at least 12 years.
I think I want to
So-
see that more now. I want to see Brian doing this.
I'm just gonna faint and faint.
I
and
do
faint.
like that because this takes place 9 years before like the big events of A New Hope. So Obi-Wan's gonna age about 40 years in those 9 years.
Oh
It's like
man.
presidency, man.
Ooh.
It gets to you quick.
That desert really fucks up your skin, bro.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, premature aging. I am so happy that it looks like a lot of the show is going to be not on Tatooine because I am
Yeah.
just over it. Like, don't need more of that in my life.
Yeah, so if he's
That's
leaving Tatooine for any amount of time, I wonder if somebody else is gonna sub in for him to look after Luke while he's gone.
Yeah,
Like he
That's
can't
right.
leave Luke by himself. That's literally his job.
R2D2.
I wonder if we're gonna see Ahsoka or somebody else hanging out with him.
That would be interesting. Yeah. I kind of want this to stay like separate from all that.
Mhm.
Just, I don't know, for a breath of fresh air a bit. But it would be kind of cool to maybe see him cross paths with Ahsoka, but I don't know.
yeah. And if we know anything about how they've done these shows already, there's definitely going to be some more cameos from Rebels, from Clone Wars. Like they're going to throw some characters in there, which will be really cool. But yeah, just doing it in the right way. So
Yeah.
If Mandalorian shows up, I will riot.
No, fuck that. It's oh my god, if Baby Grogu shows up as a smaller baby.
I will fucking riot.
Okay, Grogu's gonna be like the
No.
the Samuel Jackson that connects everybody,
yeah,
and it's like we're assembling a team.
Speaking of, there have been some rumors that maybe we see the return of a Mace Windu in this. Maybe there's a
Ooh.
chance he survived that fall from the Palpatine.
Wow.
Who knows? Samuel L. Jackson's constantly talking about wanting to come back.
If they do it to Boba Fett, they got to do it to the one black character in the last fucking 40 years of this damn movie. Don't bring
He'll
back
come
Boba
back.
Fett
He's
and then not bring back Mace
definitely
Windu.
going to come back at some point. I don't know about this, but I would see it. That, and I want to see a Force Ghost Qui-Gon. If we see Force Ghost Qui-Gon, I'll be
Ooh.
happy.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
he
true.
would probably do it. I feel
because
like
yeah,
he's
they
down
did
for that.
establish that at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like he's
Yeah,
like,
that
I'm going
he's
to
a-
start
he's a
meditating
thing.
with Qui-Gon. It's like, all right, let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm so looking forward to this, man. This is all I need right now. This is going to be so good.
I just like, I don't know, like this whole plan of like, hey, you got to watch this one, I'll watch the other one. Like, you know, the Alderaan, like,
Oh, it's a terrible plan.
and then Yoda literally just fucks off to the jungle. Like, I'm just too shook, man. Like, I'm just mad at myself.
I
Like,
mean,
bro, you're the greatest Jedi left.
have you not
Right.
seen that this is the MO for Jedi? Is you fuck up and then you just like go through the biggest shame instead of going to therapy. Men literally go to the fucking swamps before going to therapy. He does it. Fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi's about to do it. Luke Skywalker did it and then died. It's just what you do.
Yeah.
When you fuck up, you leave.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
allegedly in one timeline,
They put themselves in timeout.
Basically, yeah.
that might be retconned at some point.
Mhm.
God damn it.
Let's fucking hope so.
We'll see.
They really take that shame to the grave with them.
Mhm.
Yeah. One last note about this that I had was that apparently this just kind of came out that this show's ending was a lot bleaker than it's going to be. And apparently during the middle of production they stopped to do a big script rewrite because they wanted a more hopeful ending at the end.
Oh,
Which-
interesting.
I'm
That'd be-
cool
oh,
with,
I wish
but
they-
I
I
would
wish
have
they
been
kept it.
really interested to know how bleak it would have been by
yeah.
the
I
end.
mean, because that's the point of everything that happens after the Clone Wars is they lose and the consequences of this loss. And I think that's a very interesting thing to
Mhm.
explore because so many movies and TV and media in general is just so much about, oh, well, the good guys win and the bad guys lose because they're bad. And you know that happens at the end of Star Wars because we've seen it. But like, it's kind of
Yeah.
cool to see like, no, this isn't a happy ending. Like
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
got fucked and all the Jedi are gone.
But
like,
Mhm.
I also get at the same time that like if this seems to be like Obi-Wan's swan song, I kind of do want him to go out with a pretty good note at the end, maybe potentially.
I wanna
Granted, we know
end
where his story's
with
going.
him
Yeah.
feeling sad in darkness.
Yeah,
like,
I mean-
I would kind of
Yeah.
love that. I think actually.
Yeah, so we'll see, and they'll definitely probably leaks come out about what the original ending will be once this show ends. But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to know what it was.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we see Uncle Owen. There's gonna be conflict there because Uncle Owen fucking hates Obi-Wan's guts in A New Hope. So what the fuck did Obi-Wan do there?
true.
Who knows?
He calls
Who
him a crazy,
knows?
crazy hermit or
Oh, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Which he is a crazy old man. Let's be real.
Yeah, absolutely. But May 25th can't come sooner.
Damn, that's too far.
Ugh.
I just can't
I
wait for
know.
the Inquisitors to be walking around like, where's Obi-Wan Kenobi? And everybody in the town that like Luke lives by is like, well, there is this like old guy like up in the hills. Like his name is like
He's over
Ben
there.
Kenobi, and like he kind of makes the sand people go away sometimes, and he's kind of spooky. He's kind of good. Like, I mean,
No, it can't be him. We'll move on.
Yeah. How hard?
It's like, no, we're looking for Obi-Wan. Who's this Ben? All right, move on. Next planet.
We're looking for Obi-Wan Kenobi, not Ben Kenobi.
All right. Next up, Sony had a state of play last week, and we're just gonna rattle off some of the stuff because we didn't really care about everything. I'll just go one thing that I liked. The game called Trek to Yomi. It looked dope. It looked like 2D Ghost of Tsushima to the point where I thought it was a Ghost of Tsushima spinoff. It's not. But it looks dope. It's got the same kind of samurai-looking combat, and I'm into it. That's all I got.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like how fluid the action feels.
Yeah. It's got that feeling of a AAA game that may be like a new company or new developer. I don't know if it is. I haven't actually seen who developed it. And there's just kind of like it just has that feel of a game that's going to do well. I don't know how to explain it. Like it looks very
solid.
polished. The movement looks really good, and I just feel like this game's going to be something to look at when it comes out.
Yeah, I also like that they're committing to like a 2D black and white art style. It looks really pretty.
I'm liking the artsier games that are coming out recently.
Yeah.
I'm liking that we're leaning into that.
Speaking of 2D action games, how about that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Cowabunga collection? Like, I remember playing this game on the original Nintendo when I was a kid so many times, but never getting past the second fucking level because it was so fucking hard.
It's such a hard game. Maybe I can beat it now. Maybe I'm proficient enough in video games that I can finally beat this damn game. I was 13 classic games. So I bet there's a ton of games that I played.
Wow.
But yeah, Turtles in Time is definitely one of them, and I did not beat that game.
Alex, you're playing Elden Ring now. If you can play Elden Ring, you will be able to get.
I don't know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and there's a Lion King game that got ported over to Switch. That's fucking hard as hell. It's got to be the hardest game known to man.
No, I'm pretty sure Elden Ring is easier than these games because these are the games back in the day where if you lost, you start over. Not over from the level, but you start over.
This is where From Software got their inspiration.
That's permadeath. You know what I mean? Like that's
suffering.
Oof.
Let's play games to not have fun.
Yeah. What else was popular? There's more trailers on the Final Fantasy. There's a demo coming out. I'll probably download the demo. I'm excited to play that.
Let me play the demo on PC. I'm tired of being like, you pay it on PS5. I don't have one. No one does.
Nobody does.
Do they not have a demo on PlayStation 4?
I hope so.
That's all.
But I know
probably,
that the Matrix thing
coming out, I would imagine
didn't come out on PlayStation 4 or PC, which was fucking annoying. Even though I have a good PC, let me play it on PC.
Well, it's like a console like advertisement thing. That makes sense. The Unreal Engine.
Make more consoles, and then I'll be happy that you advertise consoles. Don't advertise something you don't have. What the fuck?
I'm just waiting for them to cancel student loan debt and give me a free PlayStation 5. Then I can. That's
what you're gonna do instead of canceling student loan debt. Joe Biden's actually just gonna give everyone PlayStation 5s or worse,
either one.
Xbox Series S.
I think that would boost his morale. If he gave everyone a PS5, I think that would work.
I know it wouldn't make sense, but I would be happy.
It's either student loans or video games. You got to pick one, Joe. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I think we all could get that's a policy we can all get behind.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so speaking of Final Fantasy, the Square Enix had a couple other things I'm excited about. There's the DioField Chronicle, like a turn-based tactical game that looks pretty cool. Valkyrie Elysium. I might play some of those. We'll see.
See, just like as you rattled those two off, those two didn't seem like they were different games. Those two names you just said
are pretty vague, but they look fun. They look like your classic like fun action RPG, and the other one's like a turn-based tactical. They're, on paper, it's right up my alley. We'll see what the reviews come out to be.
Valkyrie Elysium especially feels like you went to like RPGgenerator.com and just two words got randomly generated, and that's what you ended up with.
Well, I think that this is a series that I've never actually heard of, but have probably came across in my life. I don't think I've played them, but
Valkyrie
it sounds so
Profile
familiar.
On PlayStation 2. I've never heard of Valkyrie Profile.
I feel like I've seen Valkyrie Elysium at least 20 times in my lifetime, but I guess this is a new game. Mm-hmm. They're just two popular words.
The cell shading in that, like we talked about the art style. The art style looks pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. It's got a kind of Ni no Kuni, but like heavier vibe.
Yeah, it's like realistic, but also cell shaded.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like after playing so much Lost Ark and seeing just kind of how tropey a lot of just like Asian media tends to be in this space, it just feels kind of like everything else I've seen. But I've played enough JRPGs in my life that I'm like, yep, You got a girl that she doesn't show her eyes. She has a weird mask on. She's wearing a dress and heels for no reason, even though she's a fighter. There's some monsters that are just nondescript. Like, yep, that's a monster. I've seen it before.
Sounds like a video game.
Right. We'll see. It'll be a very niche game that I'm sure people will end up loving, and we'll see what
the action looks pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. It reminds me of Star Ocean a little bit, the way that the fighting kind of is. And that was a really good game that came on a PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I feel like it could be great or it could be just, very mediocre. So we'll see what things turn out into.
For sure.
But I love a good RPG game, so we'll see.
Yeah.
There's also the Forspoken. I think that got delayed, right? That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, sadly, but if it makes it better, good. Delay
No,
it as
not
much as
sad.
you need.
In this house,
anti-sad.
In this podcast, we love when everyone is allowed to work at their own pace, not get crunched or stressed out, and make good money.
Take your time, everybody. You're right.
That's what we like.
It'll still launch at 60%, and then they'll try to patch it.
I know, sadly.
You were correct, and I hate it. But
that trailer did look good though. Man, she's got a lot of different magical powers. It's like she's got a different spell every time.
She did a lot of flips.
It looks good though. I'm excited for it.
A lot of hardcore parkour.
Yeah. Parkour wizard. Like, come on, let's go.
All I need is a grappling hook and just to get around the world. Just in every open world game now.
Is that it for the state of play for everyone?
Sure. They had Gundam Wing and some animation.
There's a few other things that I probably won't ever play.
Yeah, that's basically. But speaking of delays, like Forspoken, man, Warner Brothers, what the fuck are you doing? Remember that 2022 trailer they had where like, look at all these movies that are coming out this year. They already fucked that up. So a bunch of their shit got delayed to 2023, including Aquaman and The Flash mainly. Black Adam got delayed, but it's still coming out this year. It got delayed to, I think, October, from July to October. Yeah. Aquaman got delayed from December 22nd to March of 2023. Flash got moved from November this year to June of next year. I don't know what happened there. But one thing that was kind of cool is that Shazam, instead of coming out next year, is now coming out this December. So they moved one up and swapped the other two.
Interesting.
But it's just, what are they doing? What are you doing? I don't know why they did this. Batman, who knows? I don't know.
Jeez.
But
it's interesting that Shazam was the one that got pulled up.
Yeah.
I guess the filming was just going really well with that one. And maybe Black Adam's struggling.
Yeah, I didn't know that was like a thing that could happen.
They're like, we're doing well. We're making good time, guys.
Pretty big.
I, for one, am absolutely shocked that DC would underperform and have to walk back things and maybe not give us everything that they promised. I mean, we haven't seen this before from them.
Savage.
Oh, it's so mean. But very true. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Do whatever you're doing, DC,
if you do a trailer in the Super Bowl and you say that you have these 3 movies coming out, you have one job.
And they moved 50% of them out.
Just get them out.
You spent millions for that TV spot.
That's probably what fucked them over. They're like, we spent so much money and resources on this trailer. Like, we're going to have to push things back a while, guys.
The budget doesn't come out till next year.
It wasn't even a trailer for one movie. It was a trailer for, like, maybe you'll see these in the future. Like, man, they are dumpster fire. So dumb, DC.
God. I don't it makes me sad as a DC fan sometimes. Yeah. That's about it for them. We'll see them, I guess, when
one day
Black Adam comes out in October. That's the next thing for them. Big thing. But yeah, next up, Grand Theft Auto 5, the next generation ones for the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever. What is it called? Series X? Is that the new
Series
one?
X
/
S, depending on if you get the shitty version or not.
That one
is
coming out very soon. I think in like a couple days, actually.
Oh boy, because we haven't played that game yet.
They revealed the prices for it, and it's not going to be a free upgrade, which is fine.
Revealed prices? What prices? I own this game on 3 goddamn systems. Fuck you about a price. Eat my asshole.
It's not going to be even like a $10 upgrade. Nope, it's $40. Granted, they're going to be on sale for like 3 months or whatever, but still.
40 fucking dollars. Isn't the online going to be free, though? That's the only maybe saving grace for this. I think they're trying to make it like a Warzone-ish kind of thing where GTA Online is actually going to be free for the upgrade.
It's going to be free on PS5 for just the first 3 months of release. That's the standalone version of GTA 5. It is not free on Xbox. It is, but it's only... but it's only $10 for the first 3 months.
Interesting, man. They got so many damn
What
loopholes.
the fuck is happening? What? Yeah, I can't even keep track of. That's worse than, and that's what makes me mad about this. Is we just had the whole definitive edition bullshit that
I don't know
failed
what Rockstar's
so
doing.
spectacularly because they wanted to make these games like $40,
Yep.
or what was it, $70 all total,
Something like that.
or then like $40 if you want to buy them separate. Something stupid as fuck. And then that game sucked dick. And everyone got mad at them because the game sucked dick, and they asked for so much money for it. And then they have the audacity to do almost the exact same thing for a game that we've been playing since 2013. I have the poster still. Fuck off.
Yeah, I remember buying that game on the 360 when it came out, and it was great then. And then they just keep 360 on going.
Literally almost a decade ago, I remember watching you play GTA
Something
5
like that. Yeah,
At least Skyrim has the decency to allow me to get like a cheaper upgrade or something like that. Like I'm not a fan of what they've done, but at least when I buy
Brian,
the PC version,
if you get it within the
time,
first 3 months, you can get it for $10 on the PS5 or $15 on, or I think $15 on Xbox. I think it is, or $20 on Xbox for the first 3 months, and then after that, it's gonna be $40.
I mean, I wouldn't mind paying $10 to $15 to play that again on next gen consoles. Like that'd be pretty cool. But $40 is
that's not bad.
$40,
but the fact that that's the sale price, and then it's originally $40. But it's like, how much money have you guys made?
Give it a rest.
I've had it on PC for next gen looks since 2015. So what the fuck? For like, I feel like everyone else getting screwed. Like that sucks for them.
Well, I'm still waiting on Joe Biden to give me a new PC gaming computer. So
once he gets that deal rolling out.
Yeah.
Joe, if you're listening, and we know you are,
we gotta play some games over here, Joe. I'm playing Elden Ring on PlayStation 4.
Cancel them goddamn loans.
And let me tell you, it's fun, but it's choppy.
I got little children starting to make fun of me online. I need a PlayStation 5, man.
We don't need that student loan repayment. Just give me a free gaming system, and we'll call it square.
Let's go,
kids
guys.
are beating my ass in the quote.
I guarantee a second term if you give everyone a PS5.
We got my vote.
Listen, man. Republicans are like, hell yeah, brother.
Brother.
I'm liberal now.
Oh, I love this. Let's keep this going. All right. Last quick news story. Fucking Amazon. It seems like they might be the ones who are doing a God of War series.
I mean, I think like they could do a good job. It seems like they're getting more into the fantasy space because they did Wheel of Time. They did a pretty decent job with that. They did. They're doing Lord of the Rings, so if they do a good job with that, I mean, God of War could be pretty great. So
they're gonna do all the nerd things. Yeah,
it does seem like a good fit.
I just don't know how you do Kratos in a 2022 world where he definitely fits in like a 2005.
You cannot do angry world. Kratos. They can't do it. They can't.
You got to do like Nordic Kratos. You can't do Greek Kratos. Like that's just you can't do that.
Don't make it weird 300 movie, which was what if this came out 20 years ago, that's exactly what it would have been. It would have been 100, just 300 all over again.
It would be funny if Kratos, if they do that, and then Kratos just yells every single line he has, like he just never talks. Right? He's just his volume is up to 11.
Do we think it's gonna be? Is it gonna be New Age Kratos or Greek Kratos? Is Nordic Kratos?
I kind of want him to do Greek Kratos just because I like the story, and I also like the Greek mythology of it, but they would have to change his character.
They have to change the character to not be so angry.
If the first scene is him fucking, then this it's not gonna work.
I think they should do like an origin story for him, showing how he like came to get his scars and became like the ghost of Sparta. Lost his family and stuff, and show it like that whole arc. And if they're doing a series, though, they're going to get a season 2, season 3, so they can do the whole story. But just start at ground zero. I think that's something that I would love to see, since I never played.
I think the question is
the PSP games and stuff.
Is it The Rock?
Is it?
Yes. No, I'm not sure.
I hope
the
it's
Rock
not.
Doesn't like video games. The man's a fucking liar. I watched this fucking Instagram story the other day, and he was talking about how he had a fucking day. And he was like, I had a fucking day, so I just cooked some burgers, bacon cheeseburgers with avocado on them. And I'm like, The Rock, you make $300 million a year. You don't cook nothing. Shut the fuck up about you cook these goddamn burgers. Your maid, Annalise, cooked these goddamn burgers, and you took an Instagram video of them. Stop playing.
Wait,
that man don't play no damn video games. It just makes him seem cool to do so. Annalise is what I call her. I don't know what the fuck her name is. It doesn't matter.
I'm trying to think though. If not The Rock, who would you guys cast for Kratos?
So that's an interesting thing about discourse. Before we talk about who you might cast, is there has been some Twitter rumblings about what people think they should be casting the characters as, and there's currently a weird divide and kind of a petition about making Kratos black. because as you know, the voice actors have been
Right.
black people, but also Kratos is from Sparta. So it's this weird kind of thing. So you either have people that are like, yeah, make them black because it'll be fun and interesting and, different. Other people are like, don't make them black because I'm racist.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it doesn't really matter because they're going to paint him white anyways.
Gonna be gray.
He'll be a bald gray dude regardless.
Yeah.
I just think if he has black man features, it'll make a little bit more sense with how he looks in the video games as a whole. But maybe that's just
because, like, have you seen the character of Hades looks like in those games? He don't look like any race. He's like purple.
I really I don't know. I feel like if they cast him as a black actor, like, just go with it and be like, yeah, he's from Sparta, and just don't even draw attention to it. Like,
exactly, I agree.
Like, I don't know,
because he's gonna be gray. Like he said, he's gonna be a white gray dude.
Right.
Like,
but even like
matter.
regardless of that, like, just like that's the story. Like, I don't know. You don't have to get.
It's like when The Rock was in that Hercules movie. No, there was no mention of it. He was just Hercules.
Right.
So it's like, just do something like that. I don't want it to be
that's
The Rock,
okay,
but
because
just
no one
do it
watched
like
that movie.
Yeah,
that movie didn't exist. So
I mean, it's a made up story anyway. Like, if you're worried about historical accuracy for a made up story where Kratos is going to be like ripping wings off harpies and stuff, it's like, you might be thinking a little too much about this, buddy. Like,
yeah.
But yes, that Hercules movie did exist, Alex.
I remember that.
I do not remember this.
Didn't watch it.
You shouldn't. It wasn't good.
Okay, so but who would you guys cast though? Gerard Butler.
Yeah, are there any like super buff Greek actors?
Ooh.
Fuck. The Mountain from Game of Thrones.
I was thinking super buff actors, period.
Gal Gadot. Just
Scarlett Johansson.
I could see Jason Momoa, but he'd have to cut all of his hair off, so I don't know if he'd do that.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to be like a bald person that's already bald.
Bruce Willis.
Someone else is big enough. Oh my god,
Danny DeVito.
He would not
I
run
honestly
ever.
Can't
I don't know.
I feel like he's a pretty good cast for that.
That's easy. That's
well,
easy.
At least the look. I can't like picture
Kratos
his like.
is all about family.
I can't picture his charisma being Kratos. Like he just frowns so much.
Yeah. Kratos is so low key, and his voice
Kratos is fighting
so
Zeus at the
deep.
top of Mount Olympus, and then like Zeus like knocks his chains of chaos away, and he's like, "This is why you were never strong enough to beat me, Kratos." And he's like, "I was always strong enough to beat you because of my family." And then like a charger just like zooms up the Mount Olympus and just crashes into Zeus.
And then fucking Tokyo Drift starts playing.
Yeah. Vin Diesel might be perfect. Kratos literally wears the ashes of his family on his skin.
Yeah,
it might be perfect.
That's pretty
casting.
badass.
Oh my god! Don't tell Vin Diesel that he's gonna be marching right over there.
It should actually be Vin Diesel. I think Vin Diesel might be a better Kratos than The Rock.
But I'm so tired of Vin Diesel being like
gym.
the protagonist of every sci-fi like franchise. Like he did
That's
Riddick.
fair. I'm tired of The Rock being the protagonist of everything though.
Yeah. I'd rather them take a chance on somebody new.
Yeah,
that would be great. But
The Rock would be good though, because like he does have the range for like villainy and like because Kratos is he's a troubled character, and I feel like The Rock could do a pretty good job with that.
That's where you lost it right there. Is he has to be a bad person. He can't do that contract.
True.
He has to be the good guy. So actually all the gods are bad, and he's the good guy because he loves his son, and that's what's gonna
right.
be. So.
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of how the story goes. They're like the gods are like ambiguously
Some
bad.
dicks.
Yeah.
Like they usually are in their mythologies anyways. They're pretty gray.
Pretty selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Every problem that happens in a lot of the mythology, like Greek mythology, is like Zeus.
Zeus was horny one day.
Every time.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how Lord of the Rings turns out, if they can handle these big high sci-fi properties or fantasy properties. So we'll see how it goes.
Looking forward to it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, the jury's still out. They got to do a good job with Lord of the Rings.
Vin Diesel for Kratos. Let's get it started.
Getting that gym down, boy, because I know you're a little chunky. It's okay. We all are.
All right. We did it. That was a really long news. It looked like we had a lot to talk about. So shall we just move on to our main topic of the week?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Bye, Brian. Bye, Alex. We'll see you in a little bit.
Bye, guys. Time for the true nerds here.
Here we go. It's just me and you, man, because this week we're stuck in another Fortress. This Fortress is very fantasy. Very, very, there's a lot of mutants in it. I couldn't think of a good word for that. Let's just get into it because we've been running for long. So let's dig into this. So we're talking all about the Fortress of
The Witcher Season 2.
Season 2 specifically. Although, check the time codes, like I said earlier, because there will be probably spoiling some of Season 1, I would imagine, because it's hard to talk about it without it. I think we're going to try to avoid book spoilers past this point, I would say.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're gonna
Yeah.
spoil anything of the ending or anything like that. But
Mhm.
if there is, check the time codes for that and just skip ahead. But because we'll definitely be talking about season 2 in depth and season 1 and also just adaptations as a whole. I guess overall, look, I will start by saying
What a way to start it.
I enjoyed this show, but
Mhm.
obviously I do think the book is better, and
Mhm.
also it's completely different especially in this season. It gets to a point where it's like this is not anything like the book.
Mhm.
It's like got like varying degrees of it being similar, but like and overall, like by the end, it's kind of where they need to be for the next segment of the story. But overall, and I get it because like let's face it, that first book, which is this season's based off Blood of Elves,
Mhm.
not a lot of action. Me and you've talked about this a lot off podcasts where it's like they kind of shot themselves in the foot with season 1, and it's not their fault. It's because it's based off of a bunch of short stories where there's
Right.
usually a monster in every single one.
Right. And there's a lot going on.
Yeah, but as you and I know, because let's establish, me and Devin have both read all of the books, so that's why
Right.
we're doing this. And so, but once you get to the meat of the 5 like saga books, there's not a whole lot of monsters in the story.
Mhm.
It's more political and it's more Geralt and Ciri's story with, and
Mhm.
even Yen, like even Yennefer kind of gets put down to the side a bit for a lot of it. It's mostly
Yeah.
Geralt and Ciri's story. And I think just basing the first season off those short stories to establish the characters, I could see why they kinda got trapped in this mindset of, "Oh, the public thinks this is gonna be a monster in every episode, so
Yeah.
we kinda have to introduce a monster in every episode," and it's like, "But that's not what it is."
Right. Yeah. It felt like they really had to the whole monolith thing, like they really had to like work to add monsters in there. And for them to go after Siri, just because like I don't know.
So, alright, spoilers, let's get to spoilers. The
Yeah.
whole Volith Mir, Baba Yaga, Deathless Mother
Ugh,
thing is
God.
completely new. None of that is in that book at all.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was a little off put by it, but by the end, I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay." It did what you did because,
Yeah.
I mean, Yennefer, from what I remember, is like in one chapter of that first book, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. And like and right, so the show is trying to be very much like build up these characters and kind of involve them more, which is good. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, like the way I don't know, like it to me, the whole thing is like, how do you do an adaptation?
Mhm.
Do you take the book and like, so a great example, Harry Potter, like you basically adapt very closely to what was written in the book. You make some minor changes here and there, but overall the story is pretty much exactly the same, with a few minor
Right.
details different, right? That's the way I feel like adaptations should be done. Because if you have fans of the book, that's why the movies and the books have such a good like following on both ends, because they treated the books with like as they stuck to the script basically,
Right. Yeah.
to for lack of a better word. But like this adaptation, to me it feels like they're like in the show, like the lady that's in charge of that, I can't remember her name, but
Lauren something Histrick, I can't remember, something
yeah,
like she's got a 3-person name, and I can't remember.
like she said something like, oh, like I know Blood of Elves is going to be really hard to adapt. It's like, okay, like
Mhm.
get that, but like at a certain point, if you go this far off the book, then you're saying that you think you can tell a better story than who wrote the book. Which, like, you're basically saying that, like, I'm going to take the characters that you made and I'm going to tell a better story with them. And, like, and that's what, to me, it really was frustrating, because there were so many changes and so many things that they did that felt kind of arbitrary and just not well thought out. Like,
Mhm.
and I'll get into all the examples of that, but like to me overall, like that, so I had to like kind of take a step back because I was mad at first, right? And so I was
Right.
watching through it with my girlfriend, who hasn't read the books, hasn't played the game,
Mhm.
and or the games plural, sorry, because I mean we frame
It's
everything
more
around
than
Witcher
just the
3.
Wild Hunt.
Yeah, but I have played 2. I haven't played 1, but I played 2 as well. So, but yeah, like,
Yeah.
so she's enjoying it a lot, but I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, why are they doing this with this character? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Like, so
Yeah.
you alienate the fans of the books in the game. You kind
Yeah.
of push them away by doing stuff that's so aggressively not that. So to me, that was my main issue with it. But if you just, to be fair, they can bring it back. Like, cause this season they did kind of set up a lot of stuff. And then
Mhm.
the next season book is when Ciri's story really gets rolling.
Right.
know?
And I think that's where I think they can definitely get it's going to be more like the book because one, more
Mm-hmm.
shit happens
Mm-hmm.
in that book.
Right.
A good chunk
Right.
of the first book is just walking and talking.
Right. Right.
Which it's good for a book. It's great and it's interesting, but I don't know how you transfer that to an 8-episode season. Do you do 4
Right.
episodes of them walking down the trail and
Mm-hmm.
then just walking and talking until something happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I think like it does like, and to be, yeah, I guess they don't want to, and it's clear that they're engineering the show kind of for more mainstream viewers. Like they're not,
Yeah.
you know, this show is not for the diehard Witcher fans like us. Like it's for, they're trying to get they're trying to cast
I think
a
they're
wider
trying to
net.
do a bit of both, you know?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you got to do both, but like just going so far off, you aggravate the, you know, the fans of
A
the
little
original
bit.
stuff.
I could see that, yeah.
So I don't know, but I feel like they can bring it back next season. Like I'm still gonna watch. You know, I'm not like so mad that I'm not gonna like keep watching it. But I think that maybe this was just kind of a weird one-off thing where they were going a little off script, and then and now they'll get back on track. And
Because, like, I will say, I do like some of the things that they have changed to adapt. I guess they changed in the sense that they've given characters that were very minor more major roles. Like, for example, Istrid, he's in one short story. Not even he's not. I don't even think he's mentioned in the 5-book saga. He's in one short story, and that's it. And now he seems to be more of a major player, which I'm like, okay, that's interesting dynamic wise. Like how he's the one that goes to Codringer and Fen and discovers all of this Siri lore that we all are going to discover more in depth in future seasons, I would imagine. So I thought that's interesting that they're giving him this little character arc. I do like that dynamic of when him and Geralt first meet. Well, for one thing, they have no shared history like they do in the book. They don't know each other, but there is that rivalry of where he says Yenna and Geralt's like Yen, and then he said, and then that's it. It's just like, damn, bro.
yeah, ooh, awkward.
Yeah, but yeah, like that, and then you have to refresh my memory, but I don't remember Stregobor being as much of a character as he is.
No, yeah, and like they brought in Vesemir pretty early on, which I feel like he's more secretive. Or I'm sorry, not Vesemir. Wait, who am I thinking of? Dijkstra. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought in Dijkstra, which I kind of wish he had a lot more screen time.
Me too. I mean, I didn't know that Graham McTavish was cast as him, which I do really like that casting. Funny enough, he plays the voice of Deglin in the Nightmare of the Wolf animated movie of The Witcher. So I was like, oh, that's cool that they now have him in live action. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in them. And man, how much of a paycheck do you think the woman who's playing Philippa got for that one scene in the whole series she's in?
Yeah.
But obviously, there's a big reveal at the end. It's like, damn, that's the easiest paycheck in the world.
Yeah, there wasn't much screen time there. Yeah. But I mean, I think they did a pretty good job of like, there were some things where like, I think the whole political aspect of it, like the Brotherhood, I guess they're still the Brotherhood at this point. Like where they kind of, you know, like Vilgefortz and Tiziana DeVries, like they do a pretty good job of like, you know, fleshing out those characters.
Yeah. I didn't know, or maybe I missed this in the book that they were romantically involved. Is that new to the show?
Yeah, I think that is new to the show, but there might be hints of it in the books. I'm not sure. But
maybe.
I think that is a new element.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, and I was happy that they, at the very end, they brought in Philippa Eilhart because she's a great character she's
a major character coming up. Yeah.
So, and you kind of knew who it was the whole time. Like this owl was floating around all over the place. Like we knew who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did a good job. I think there was some, like one scene that sticks out to me that I didn't like was when Dijkstra's like talking out all the political situations to himself, like in his room. And I was like, that's like a big, like tell, don't show moment where they're like, the show's like, and it's complex. Like it's tough to, you know, it's
tough when you're reading a book and a lot of those thoughts are in their head. Obviously they're not saying them out loud.
Right,
so it's, yeah.
And like, like, and a lot of the things of context, like the political situations in the books are very easy to lay out in a book when there's more room for context, stuff like that in a show, in a visual format. You can only do it through character conversations. So I felt like a lot of the conversations in that was like a lot of like, oh, well, if we do this, then Nilfgaard will react this way. And then, you know, like, so like, like people talking out things that they already would know, like being so high up there, which is, I feel like, you know, Game of Thrones did that so well where they just kind of like, they didn't do it too like on the nose. Like people would just kind of like say very natural dialogue and you would figure it out as you went. So I feel like here they're doing kind of trying to speed it up a little bit by like just doing more tell don't show, which, you know, obviously you want to try to do the opposite with storytelling, but I don't know.
Because
But
I
I
think
guess
that I
that's
definitely do think that is a thing that they're probably going to struggle with, mostly in this season, but we'll see how it goes. Is that a lot of it is a bit of a slow burn before
mhm,
things actually start to move. So I could see they're like, we got 8 episodes, we gotta we gotta get to these points by the end. So
right.
we're gonna have to take some stretches of how the story's being told, type of thing.
Yeah, and they did. I think the big, like a lot of the season focused on like the elves, like about, you know, the
Hmm.
kind of the racism and the conflict, which is a good thing to bring up in The Witcher that I don't actually think the books maybe don't do enough with.
I'm pretty sure all of this Francesca story is not in the book.
Yeah, and I do think like the books and maybe even the game don't really do enough of a good job with that. Of like, you know, like the elves are completely justified, like to
Yeah.
feel the way they feel and like be fighting for their old homeland, stuff like that. So it was kind of cool to get more background on that. And I did, that's like one positive note that I have for season two.
Yeah.
But it did feel like a lot of the story revolved around it, where it's like, you know, and maybe that's why they did it, is because they felt like they didn't have enough content from the book. So they just decided to add in a bunch of this, of that
Right, because
plot.
they do that. They give a lot of characters, like, more background, like, with Fringilla. Fringilla doesn't
Hmm.
become a major thing until, like, book 4 or 5, maybe,
Hmm.
or something like that.
Hmm.
So it's, like, it's interesting that they give them all these background and these things to do, and I get it because it's like, how do you put these characters in here and then they're just not in the next season now? It's like when Game of Thrones had that issue with where the book told the same story but from different characters' perspectives, and there was like the whole season where Bran wasn't in it at
Yeah, it
all.
just wouldn't be
And it's
there.
like you could do that. I would love to see them do that, but it's like it's hard to do that because a lot of these characters don't stick around for long
Hmm.
in The Witcher, and they just kind of do their part, and then you don't really hear or see from them ever again.
Right. Yeah. And it kind of feels like they're trying to, maybe again for the mainstream kind of viewer, they're trying to make a more tight story, right? Like
Yeah,
instead of having this character show back up in like season four, you're like, wait, who's this? Like I completely
right.
forgot about them. They're trying to, you know, maybe keep everybody kind of more on screen to make sure
Mhm.
that you kind of know who's who.
Which
So,
we'll see, it could bite them in the ass in future seasons, we'll find out, but, it's
mhm.
interesting, like, that Fringilla moment when she just freezes and paralyzes everyone, and I was like,
Yeah.
"God damn,
I
bro."
mean, it was cool, but like, I also think that like that was because like in the DLC in The Witcher 3, that's what Gontro Dim does, and he only does it to one person. You
Mhm.
know, like basically the devil himself. Like Gontro Dim's kind of this weird figure, kind of like Baba Yaga, like in the show, which is
Right.
kind of why Baba Yaga is okay, because like, you know, there are these kind of like deeper like
Different
evil
folklore
figures,
type of things.
yeah, in The Witcher that like kind of can't like, be explained and you can't directly beat them. But like in the DLC of Witcher 3, like Gontro Dim, you know, he like puts a mark on you and like you have to go like, or you have to try to kill the guy who like he sold his soul to. He does that in a bar, and he like puts a spoon in a guy's eye and like kills him real slow, and then he
Ugh,
like he freezes time, and like he's insanely powerful for
right.
doing that. Like, and Fringilla just does it kind of like
To
nonchalant and
everyone.
like
Yeah, I could see, okay, I could see that,
it
yeah.
just to me that felt like they were trying to make her more together than she actually was. Because like at the end, you figure out, you know, at the end of the day, like her and Kahir like were complete clowns.
Fucking
Like
idiots, yeah.
like I don't know. So it felt like they were, yeah, Fringilla had a lot of screen time in this, but it's like her whole plot line didn't really end up in anything very significant.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, weirdly, like, dark moments, like, again, back to Francesca, that moment when she just
Oh,
marks all the doors and all the babies and then just arms down, I was like, "Oh my god."
yeah, that was really dark.
Whew. I get like, damn. I was like, I like the background that you've given to these characters, in moments like
Hmm.
that where it's like, fuck, dude, no wonder everyone's hating each other and the whole like they're blaming it on Redania and so that's how
Hmm.
that goes about and they're I like how Fringilla and Kahir are trying to take credit and then
Right.
this is probably the biggest change from the book. So,
Hmm.
or maybe not the biggest, but one of the biggest. You just it's Dunny. It's Siri's
Hmm.
dad is Amir. They just did it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the same as the book. Like he is a mirror at the end of the day. It's just I
Well,
got
he is,
lost.
but you don't find out until the
Yeah, you know
end.
that's true. You don't find out until like the very end,
Yeah, no spoilers,
right?
but yeah,
Yeah.
you don't find out until that he's Dunny, Siri's father, until the last book.
Because yeah, I remember like I played Witcher 2 and 3, and then I read all the books. So I
Hmm.
guess I knew
Oh, okay,
from
okay,
that, but like, but then the whole time in the books, you're like, wow, like what? I'm trying to figure out like how this all worked out. But yeah, I'm
yeah,
still a little lost in like how Dunny went from, or how he didn't die, like when the wife died. I don't know, but
Yeah,
that's
we
that.
won't
There's a lot of
spoil it
spoilers
because
there.
they'll probably explain it, and also, yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's a little confusing
they'll do a
because
good
we
job of
do know
explaining it,
that
I
they
think.
die at sea, or presumably died at
Well,
sea.
yeah,
Clearly,
quote
he
unquote.
did not.
Right. Which we don't want to tell now because that's big spoilers. But
Yeah, but I guess I will just say, like, I understand why they had to do the reveal now, and I saw some behind the scenes stuff where
mhm,
the creator, I can't, apologies for can't remember her name exactly. She explains that basically they knew they couldn't hold that card for that long because it's not a
mhm,
book, obviously, and they
mhm.
what are they going to obscure his face? They did think about recasting or like putting makeup on him to make him look a little different, but they're like ultimately it's just like let's just do the reveal now and just get on with it, basically,
Mhm.
because it's a big point where it's like because Amir, he says he wants his daughter back, and now it's like, yeah, it's because it is his daughter that he
Mhm.
rightfully wants back, and so I was like, oh shit, they're just going for it, and yeah, it would be hard to like obscure that for the next 5 seasons or whatever, how long they're trying
Right.
to do it. So it
Right.
makes sense that they're just gonna to do it now. Yeah,
And it was a pretty big twist, but I knew it. Like I could kind of tell it was coming. But
yeah.
yeah. So it set up very interesting like just stuff for the next season. I just can't. I'm trying to remember the books. Like I can't remember how much he was actually in the book until like the very end of the like book five.
He's really not, from what I
Yeah.
remember. He's not in it that much. He's in it
Hmm.
every now and then discussing stuff, but he doesn't like do anything really.
Hmm.
But yeah, I did like there was a bit of a foreshadow in that final episode where Ciri's in the dream world,
Hmm.
where everyone starting to get Thanos around her and they're all turned into dust.
Yeah.
Everyone except for her dad fades
Hmm.
away. So I was like, that's a pretty nice little touch of he's actually alive before the actual reveal happens. I thought that was
Yeah,
cool.
that is cool. Yeah, and it was a good way to end the season too, because like it kind of does
Yeah.
set up the frame of the next events. Because like the books basically are the story of Ciri, and like
Mhm.
Geralt's kind of like a side character. Honestly, like
Yeah.
so that dynamic is kind of the whole story. And then if you add on The Witcher, the games after that, that's a big part of that. Well, it's the main story of The Witcher 3,
Right.
but yeah, Ciri is just a huge character.
Yeah. And like, well, let's get into that a little bit. Not spoilering, but clearly they're setting up the Wild Hunt as this kind of big bad.
That was one of the coolest moments of the whole season, seeing that.
Very different from the book, but very
Hmm.
cool still, where they all get teleported there. And it's like, oh, fuck, we're just doing
Hmm.
this now, aren't we? Okay.
And it's like such a like a hint drop, because like if you haven't read the books or played the game, you'll be like, wait, what is that? If you have, that's like an awesome like, oh, here we go, like
Yeah,
they're coming,
absolutely.
they're coming eventually.
I was surprised by the look of them because, like, they've described them that they're like an army from hell, whereas, like, obviously in the games they're more like frosty and they're
Hmm.
in the real world. So it's interesting that they've gone this opposite way with them.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that they have like described it as that is their end game basically. That's the big bad in coming soon
Hmm.
throughout the rest of the season. So clearly, and I won't try to spoil as much, but their story in the books is interesting, and clearly they're gonna do some changes to it because of the way it happens in the book is odd. Let's just to say
Yeah,
the
it's
least.
kind of yeah, it's kind of weird in
A
the
bit
books, but
anticlimactic almost, maybe.
yeah, definitely. But like, I do like the idea of it that like we don't know how to say who the Wild Hunt is yet,
No, yeah.
but like I do like how they set like how the whole story and like why they're trying to get to the world and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's
it'll be
interesting.
interesting to keep an eye on that. And like it, I guess they're only going to do the books for the show. Like they're not going to go into like Witcher 3 stuff and
Probably
like
not,
continue
I
the
would
story
imagine.
out. So they'll be able to kind of stick to that.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
That was like how their get out of jail free card, I guess, with who the fuck the deathless mother was. What basically they said she's a part of the wild hunt. That was it. And then she just wanted to go home type of
Yeah.
thing.
And that's why they had to explain the big like a big theme of the season. I'm kind of glad they did this, was that they talked a lot about the conjunction of spheres,
Yeah.
and they kind of had to, so that you would understand like that these creatures are from other places that don't really belong here.
Mhm.
And like that's how humans got to this world. That's how like all the monsters got there. So like it was kind of cool to like explain that to the viewer, and also be like, yeah, like this, she's just trying to get back to her own
Kind
plane of
basically.
existence, whatever.
That and then as far as like teasing in this lore, they did a lot of teasing of the whole Falca and the Lara Doran
Hmm.
gene and all of that. They kind of seed that in because that definitely becomes a big point. And at the end, they're like, basically, Ciri is of elder blood, and she is this
Hmm.
weapon. Is basically what they're describing.
Hmm.
They're like they created a warrior, is what they say. apparently she's gonna end the world and yada yada yada. So like they started to establish that a bit in the first episode, which I will say I just want to talk about the first episode because the Nevelin story is my favorite short story out of all of them. I love that story. They did a pretty decent job adapting it for the show, I will say. Like for the most part, slightly different because obviously Ciri is not there in the book; it's just Geralt. But for the most part, they did a pretty good job of adapting it.
Yeah, I loved that. I thought that like that was like probably my favorite. Well, maybe not my favorite. No, probably my favorite episode because it started off like, oh, they're gonna like this is great. Like this is right out of the book, except for obviously adding Ciri, but that's an acceptable change. Yeah. But I was like, it was so in line with what I was like wanting to see, like the good short story and like how there's like, you know, you think this guy's a good guy and like you don't really know what's going on, and at the end you find out, oh, he's actually a complete piece of shit.
Rapist.
And like, you know, so like it's just such a good Witcher story. Like it's so like symbolic of like the Witcher, like all the emotions that it makes you go through every single time.
It was smart to start the season with that episode and then move on to the actual main story of the
Yeah, set my bar here. And then was it the next episode that they did the whole Eskel shit?
Yeah.
Was it episode 2? That was like
which is they killed Eskel, which is not in the book at all.
that was okay. Like I had a few major complaints with the season, and that was one of them. Because like for a few reasons, but like I think my biggest complaint like was kind of how they did the Witchers, like was how they did Kaer Morhen, like because first of all, you know, you're saying so in the books there's only 4 left. There's 4, There's Vesemir.
Well, 5 including Vesemir.
Okay, so Vesemir, Geralt, Lambert, Eskel, and Cohen. Yeah. Right? Or Cohen. And there's 5. There's only 5 left at the beginning of the books. And then they started off when there's like 20 of them.
That's how I knew. I was like, these motherfuckers are all gonna die, aren't they?
Exactly. So like, and like, God, like, okay, so let's talk about Eskel. Like, you have a character that's like pretty well liked. Like if you read the books, he's not a huge character in the books, but like in Witcher 3, you have a few quests with him. He's a great character, and like he's one of Geralt's oldest friends, and like the dynamic with Geralt and his Witcher buddies is like always a great thing because they're all these grizzled veterans. They all kind of hate what they do, but like they just do it, and they know that they're the last of a dying breed, and that eventually Witchers will be gone, and people have to deal with monsters on their own.
Right.
Okay, so they introduced Eskel. He's uncharacteristically angry.
So he's got a big tree growing in.
Well, right, but he's beefing with Geralt, which never happened in any form of the book or the game. Right. And then they just kill him. Like Geralt has to kill him, and it's like you couldn't have. You introduced these like other 20 Witchers. You couldn't have done that with any of them. Like
but I guess the point is then would you care as much?
But now I care, and I care in a bad way because I'm mad. Like, like you made me care, but not in a way that
Right.
And like if you're only doing this, if you did that plotline for like the casual fans that haven't read the books, then why not just kill a random Witcher?
Right, because then they wouldn't care. Yeah, that's fair.
Or like maybe they would care, but like you just all like with that move, you only piss off the fans that do know who Eskel is.
Right. And I get it in the sense that I was trying to think of it like if you're trying to adapt it in that, like you were saying, Eskel and even the rest of the Witchers, they don't do anything in those books.
Really. Yeah, they don't really do that much. Yeah,
they're only in. I'm pretty sure that that first book when Geralt goes there, and then I think Cohen shows up later. No spoilers. I'm not gonna say anything. But they just for the rest of the time they just chill there. Like, are they gonna still have Vesemir after this season hanging around? Because he's barely in those books too.
But like that's the thing. Like they're just kind of around, but they're not like. They don't have to be major characters, but I don't know, just like to introduce like a bunch of nameless Witchers and then to kill one that you do know is just such a random, kind of a weird thing. The fact that at the end, like they were just dropping like flies, I was like, these guys are used to fighting monsters. Like it's what they do for a living, and they're just getting wiped out. Like I was really mad about that. Like because like it just it like cheapens how good the Witchers are just because you have to have a few bodies in there to die to show that like they're in trouble. Like that's such like a cliche thing to do in every movie and show. It's like, oh, these are these badass warrior fighters, and like when the climax happens they all just drop like flies.
I will say that they still haven't quite gotten like the combat, like just like the choreography of the fight, because like most of the fights that Geralt has with these monsters are like 3 seconds long. They're like 3 hits. He'll dodge and then he cuts its head off or slices it in half or whatever.
Right.
I like how he takes out that last like albino basilisk, or he like stabs it and cuts its mouth in half and then knocks it off the bridge. I thought that was cool, but it's like there's no like big pirouettes and like it's like it doesn't
Mhm.
feel like Eskel comes in saying he fought the Lesher for like 3 hours or 6 hours or whatever.
Mhm.
It's like I couldn't imagine saying that based on how fast Geralt deals with all these
Right.
other monsters. You
Right.
know what I mean?
I feel like that's been missing from the show a little bit, and they got into it a little bit this season, but like
Mhm.
I feel like that's been missing because that was also in the books, like for the little bit that they did do with that. Like, you know, he does prepare for fights. Like he knows, okay, it's this kind of monster. All right, this is how I'm
Mhm.
going to prepare for it. Like I know, you know, this is what it likes to do. This is what I'm going to try to force it to do. They that whole element of the show of like basically making the monster fighting like very professional and like
Yeah.
calm has been missing for me. I think pretty much the entire show. Like it just seems like, oh, I'm a guy with a sword and I run in there just like any
Right.
other action hero. You know, chop some limbs off and chop the head off, and oh, it might be a little might be a little harrowing for me, but then I eventually win. Like it feels like
Yeah.
every fight is like that. Whereas like in the books, it's you're a witcher. Like it's your professional job to fight these
Right.
kind of monsters. You know how to fight them. You know how you need to prepare. Like it just seems like there should be a higher level of like
Yeah.
elite.
I think the best one that I can think of is in that first episode when he fights the Bruxa.
Mhm.
And he's just standing there waiting, and he like
Yeah.
you can hear the clicking, and he's just
Mhm.
waiting for the clicking to get closer, and then he ducks and does the little backstab, and that's all it takes. That was it. It was just one hit. Which
Right.
that one I was like, okay, I that one I thought worked well, showing his
Mhm.
patience and like he just needs one strike to do it. I thought that was pretty done well. But yeah, I think the problem is like they do the human to human combat well because obviously
Mhm.
it's easier to do that when you're not fighting a big CG monster. It's like
Right.
how realistic can we make it that this man is fighting this monster for this long type of thing?
Right.
So I think they do a better job at that. But yeah, we'll see. And again, maybe they'll be smart and just get rid of all the monsters like the books do and just focus on the other shit. And
Yeah, and I think that maybe they will, but like I mean, you know, going forward, like, you know, they'll have some opportunities, I feel like, if they wanted to,
yeah.
but I just wish like we could have seen more of that, like, oh, like it's not some crazy lesson that I've never seen before that, you know, I have to go hunt. It's like, oh, it's like a regular lesson. Okay, we know how to deal with this.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and then they go hunt for it and like I feel like they just kind of got away from that and I would have liked them to stay on that more.
Yeah.
It's weird to me how like he has the one sword still, and then they had that one shot where it showed you two swords that were basically
Yeah.
right out of the game. So like, are they hinting that he's gonna have two at one point? I don't know because
I mean, I think he's always had two. He just always just has the one on his back
he
though.
always he always has one on his back when he's like fighting. I guess that's part of the preparation thing.
Because I think he busts out the silver sword when he fights the vampire in that first episode.
Yeah, he has it like on his horse on Roach.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, that's another.
Oh
thing,
yeah.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Roach.
The whole point of Roach is that Roach never dies. That's why he's
No,
called Roach.
I thought the whole point I thought the whole point, at least for the books, is that he doesn't give a shit. I mean, he cares
Well,
about the
true,
horses,
true,
but he
yeah.
names them all
If a
Roach
Roach
because
does
he's like,
die, he
I
just
just get
calls
a
it
new
Roach.
one, you know?
Yeah, he just calls any horse he gets Roach. But like, man, they didn't have to do Roach like that. Like, come on, man. I was like, that was another thing. I'm like, what? Like, why? Why are you just gonna kill Roach like that? Like,
Yeah, I
that
was like,
so
ah,
random.
damn. Roach barely got past season 1.
I know. I was so sad. Like, I don't know. Roach in the video game, man. Listen, Roach will
I mean,
do
yeah.
anything. Roach will never die in the video game.
No.
Okay, be
Roach is the
spawning on
best.
top of houses and trees and in the middle of like a griffin, but like, he ain't gonna die though. Roach is never gonna die.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I guess we haven't really talked about Yen because
Mm-hmm.
her story is brand new because she doesn't do really anything in that first book. Like, obviously, I guess we can sort of talk about the changes in that first book compared to this season in the sense that Yen is only there when she decides to teach Ciri at the end. It's at the temple, right? That's where she teaches her. They both go
What's her name?
there and Neneki?
Neneke, yeah, Neneke. Mother
Neneke?
Neneke. Yeah.
But yeah, and so her story in this is she lost her magic after burning everyone alive, and that's why she
Mhm.
makes the deal with the Deathless Mother and all that stuff. And I was like, I get it. You needed to give her a story because she's a major
Mhm.
character as you established, and you can't just not have her until the ending. I get it, but it's just like,
Yeah, I feel like they could have done it better because, like, I feel like with Yennefer and also with Vesemir, these were two more things where it just felt like such betrayals of their character to have them like kind of exploit Ciri in the ways that they did, like were going
Yeah.
to. Like they both like came around and didn't. But like
Right.
this show set them up in both. So like Vesemir, they set him up of like, oh, we can make more Witchers. Like I want to do that. Like Vesemir don't want to make more Witchers. Like none of the Witchers want to make more Witchers. They all realized it was like a shitty thing that they had to go through, and like and that they wouldn't have wanted to do it voluntarily, but they were like, you know, either sold by their parents or whatever the case was. It's always a shitty situation that makes you a Witcher. But like the Witchers, like in the books, it's very clear, and in the game, they're very consistent. Like the Witchers know that they're the last, and they want it to be that way because it's barbaric the way that they're created, and the way that they were created was by like a sorcerer back in the day that, you know, like that was completely barbaric, but like it worked.
And now it's like the odds. What are the odds now? It's like 1 out of 10 kids survives the trial of the grasses and shit.
Right. So like the fact that he was like that they said that the show was like, oh, Vesemir's gonna, you know, like, oh, with some of your blood, Ciri, we can make more Witchers. Like Vesemir would not want that, and he never would expose Ciri to that possibility, you know, to make more Witchers. So that was a betrayal of his character. And then Yennefer the same way. Like she would never ever like risk Ciri's safety for herself. Like you know, Yen does some selfish things. Like she's a very complex character. She, you know, she has her own motivations sometimes. But the thing that's consistent is how much she cares about Ciri and how much she wants to.
I guess the sense is that she didn't realize who Ciri was. That's their excuse, is that she didn't realize how important she was until she was like, oh shit, this is the child type of thing. And then, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying still. Yeah.
And I guess they'll probably get it more as the show goes on. Her and Ciri will develop more of like a, you know, a mother-daughter relationship, which is kind of like, you know, like they're kind of like a weird fucked up family, like the three of them, right? Like Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri. But I just think that was, maybe she didn't know who she was as much yet, but like it just felt like it felt like too far even for Yennefer to like be like, to entertain the idea of like, I will kill, you know,
this
a girl
child
to get my magic back. Like when the first season, she's like risking her life so much to like save that little baby.
Right. Yeah.
And like, so, and you're telling me the same person is going to go willingly sacrifice a girl to like a kind of demon thing, like
a weird Baba Yaga lady. Yeah.
Right. It just seemed like that was kind of weak to me, but it did do the point of like, it got us to a place where Geralt doesn't trust her and has this kind of toxic relationship with Yennefer, which is very Witcher. Like,
like they don't have the best relationship.
They have a very.
I do like to imagine because like at the end of that 7th episode, that's where Geralt's like, I hate you're on my shit list basically, and then we're leaving. We're going back to Kaer Morhen because Ciri's in trouble. And then they cuts to the next episode. The opening is Geralt being they're riding horses back to Kaer Morhen, and Yennefer's just yelling his name. I like to imagine she was just yelling Geralt's name the entire ride back to Kaer Morhen for like hours and days.
Like sleep, campfire, wake up, do it again. Geralt. Oh, that is funny.
Yeah, but I guess like my other like issues with it that are basically book based compared to the show, where are one the dwarves involvement. I like that they brought them back because they are involved in the book when they're because basically Geralt in the book, Geralt is taking Ciri to Nanek, I believe. I think he's taking her to the temple, and they meet them on the trail and or whatever it's called, the pass. I can't remember. And basically, the whole motto is that you can't refuse help. So they help them, and then they get some shenanigans happen. But so I like that they were there and they helped fight, and that was their little nod to the book, I guess. But another character we didn't talk about, who was in with them on that journey, is Triss, who I do appreciate. I do like that they've edited up her hair more, and I'd like to imagine they're just gonna go with a different red in every season.
Just get redder and redder and redder. Like it's like fluorescent red by the end of the show.
I like her. I like that actor a lot. I think she's a really good Triss. I guess one thing that after first viewing, I was like, I don't believe their relationship. But after a second viewing, I was like, okay, I can kind of see a little more that they did have some kind of romantic background, which they did in the book. And they clearly, I think, do in this show, even though they don't say it outright.
Right.
I thought they did a decent job. I after a second viewing, I was like, oh, okay, I could believe this a bit. But
yeah. I like what they did with Triss this season for sure. And like they definitely have that dynamic of like her liking Geralt more than he likes her back, because the man is truly just whipped by Yennefer. Like
he can't get enough. He needs it. Yeah.
That,
and then another big element from the book. It basically ends Geralt's story in the book, whereas this is not. The Michelet brothers are jack shit in the show. And Rience, that whole fight.
Oh, wait. refresh me on that. I forget.
So, like, in the book, they are who Geralt fights at the very end of his story of the book. He fights the Michelet brothers, and he wins, and he gets his ass kicked. And then he's trying to take out Rience, who we get introduced to in this show as well. And Rience escapes, and he thinks Philippa is the one who helped him escape. Because Philippa is more in the book than she is in the show. Like, she meets Geralt, there's a whole conversation, yada, yada, yada. Whereas in this, they show up at the temple, which is not what happens in that book. And they just fuck shit up, and Geralt just gets rid of them in about 30 seconds, and that's it. And that's it. And then you don't see them, and they're not characters in the show. I do like Rience. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
I liked his introduction. I liked the little twist because we knew that in the book, Yennefer sets his face on fire.
Yeah.
Which that's how he burns. That's how he gets burnt. Where I like the little twist in this that she just sprays alcohol in his face while he's got his fingers snapped. I thought that was a good twist. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was cool. It was funny how they presented him as like such a badass dude, and he was. But then
he got
his ass kicked a lot too.
It was very funny. Yeah. So looking forward to more of him. And then, but just in that kind of same vein, we didn't talk about Dandelion or Yaskier as they call him in the show.
Yeah.
He's great. I think he's great in every scene he's in. He's so good.
I didn't love his song this season.
I was gonna say that song is so good.
Oh yeah, you liked it?
I like that song, dude.
It didn't hit as good for me as Toss a Coin to You, whichever. That's
well, it's a sad. He's sad over Geralt, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah, when he's on the floor like burn, burn, burn.
Yeah,
like, on the floor like rocking like these Led Zeppelin or something. Like
oh man, yeah. I after this season, I think I went back and listened to that song over and over again. I dug it because I think they made like 3 songs for him in this show, and there's 3 different ones on the soundtrack. I was like, these are pretty good songs. Keep it up. Just give him more music.
Yeah, I think he definitely is like very true to his character throughout the show. He's been one of the best adapted characters. He's been one of the best ones because I think he's very true to like Dandelion's going to be in trouble. He's going to be not in trouble. He's going to be in great situations, and then he's going to be in trouble again.
He's like the ultimate best friend. Like when Geralt shows up, he's just like, fuck it, give me a hug, and like I forgive you. We're good. Let's go, move on. Yeah. No, it's great. So I'm looking forward to the future because I do think past this book, it is a little more concrete as to what they can do in the events. They don't have to make as much stuff up. I think they probably will still because obviously it's an adaptation.
Right.
But I think this next season is gonna be good. It's probably some of the best shit.
And maybe because of the difficulty of adapting this one, maybe they'll stick closer to the book. That's all I want. I want them to stick a little closer to the story from the book next. And maybe now that they feel that they have enough content to do that they'll stay on track. But yeah, for me, it was just like, it was a good lesson in adaptations. Like just, you can appreciate both, like it's just a different telling of a story that you like. You don't it doesn't have to be exact, but to me, it's a good lesson in like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just like enjoy it. Everybody's watching Witcher now. It's a good thing, but like, it's not going to be, every little detail is not going to be the same. But like,
right, yeah. Although all right. Last 2 things I just forgot. I shout out to Lydia's face. Sorry, oof, that looks painful. Because I remember when she first popped up and she was just talking. I was like, aren't you that mute girl who has a fucked up jaw and can't speak and you have to speak telepathically? And then cut to like the end of the season and she's fucked with Ciri's blood and she's completely burned her whole chin off and everything. And I'm like, oh, there we go. That's what I need.
Yeah.
She's partners up with Rience and it's like, yeah. They're bro. That and then the one thing that I don't know, did you watch the teaser after the credits of the last episode? There's a teaser, if you go back and watch, for a new Witcher show called Blood Origin.
Oh, okay.
And it plays after the credits of the final episode. Michelle Yeoh is in it, which a lot of people will probably recognize her from Shang-Chi most recently. She was his aunt. But it looks like they're going to delve into potentially the Lara Doran storyline in this new spin-off show.
Maybe like when the men first came to the...
I guess so, yeah.
When humans first came to the continent.
I just love how Netflix is going all in on this Witcher shit.
Yeah, I did see that teaser. I was like, I don't know, I wasn't very excited for it, but I probably will watch it.
It
does show you that they're, that they do care about the lore and like they care about the kind of the setup of the world. So
it seems like they're doing a whole Disney thing where it's like you got to watch all these because like this probably will help people in further seasons of the regular Witcher show explain what the fuck these people are talking about, because there are definitely some. I'm pretty sure there's a whole chapter in the book where they're all just explaining what the fuck is going on, and people are like, "What are you talking about with this gene shit? What?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
That and more animated movies. Make another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still haven't watched the Vesemir one. I need to watch that, but
You should. It's good. It's good.
yeah, need to.
It's
I do
short.
need to
It's
catch
pretty
up on
short,
that.
and it's good. Yeah.
But either way, the future is bright for The Witcher.
Now, if only CD Projekt Red could do something right.
After Cyberpunk failed so bad, they're gonna hammer another Witcher game. They're gonna have to, which is actually kind of sad because they ended it so well, Witcher 3, but story wise at least.
Either that or they'll just keep going with Gwent. Just make more Gwent.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, like I was very skeptical of Henry Cavill, before it all started.
I told you, man.
He probably is the reason that it's doing so well. Like,
yeah, he's probably a big point. Yeah,
brings that A+ superpower, star power into it. So,
and he has said like he'll be committed to whatever. I think they planned on like a 7-season arc for the whole show, and he's like, if they keep doing a good job, I will stick around to do it. So hopefully Netflix doesn't cancel this before it's done.
Yeah, I feel like they won't, because like they've poured so much into it. I feel like they should stick with it, and like it would be very disappointing if they, for whatever
I'd be
reason,
so
cancel
annoyed.
it.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, but like I mean, they have the story, so now I think things are going to start moving next season. So
next season should be very good.
You won't have to make up stuff as you go. You won't have to just randomly kill off Yennefer. I don't know. Triss is now.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. Like you're not gonna have to come up with those kind of plot holes now. So or like stories of your own. So we'll see. But
yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it whenever that next season comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, man. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to do more Witcher stuff in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we move on to our final segment of the week, Devin?
Let's do it.
Oh, hey, Brian. What's up, Alex?
They're just in another room the whole time.
Hello.
This is our last segment of the week, which we like to call Free for All, title pending. This is a segment, everyone, where we can kind of do whatever we want. We can recommend something. We can talk about our day. We can take a nap. We can rant and yell. We can fight. We can do whatever we want. It's free for all. I'll go first. I got some real quick. I finally got around to watching the Cuphead show on Netflix.
Oh,
cool. They made a show. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I didn't even know it was out yet.
Yeah, it came out a couple weeks ago, and I just finally got around to it. It's super short, which I loved. It's like the total is probably like 3 hours. I think there's like 12 episodes, but they're each only like 10 minutes long. With credits, it's longer. But so it's like a pretty quick, sweet little watch. It's funny. It's a genuinely pretty funny show, and the animation is top notch. It looks like an old.
What is the story about?
It's not really the game story. They incorporate some. There's definitely all the characters from the games that I know of. I haven't played Cuphead, but I've seen a lot of it. A lot of those characters are throughout each episode, but each episode, besides maybe 2 or 3, are basically a standalone episode. So you can kind of just watch. You don't have to binge it. Basically, you can watch how many you want, which is kind of nice. But it's like a old school little animated show where it's like, oh, we're just gonna do this little fun adventure, this one quirky little thing we do. It's like an old school, like what was it, 1920s, 1940s, 30s, something like that type of thing. But one of the cool things that I thought was interesting was that they introduce a character in the last episode, which is going to be in the DLC that's not yet come out yet. So I thought that was interesting that they introduce her in this show before she even makes an appearance in the DLC.
Neat.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So you get a little bit of background character development for her. But there's some really fun stuff. There's a highlight. There's a fun little like musical homage to this skeleton thing that I can't remember exactly. The devil's in it, obviously, because the main story of the Cuphead game is you sell your soul to the devil and type of shit.
Oh, wow. Dang, that's
the devil's in it. Very funny character. It just follows the little adventures of Cuphead and Mugman as they kind of run rampant around the town and do a bunch of nutty shit. There's some pretty weird, kind of dark moments, specifically where there's an episode with a baby and they got to take care of her baby, but it's like this baby's literally the spawn of Satan, which is quite hilarious.
That sounds fun.
But yeah. So it's like I could see maybe adults watching this with their kids, but maybe not super young children. But it's not like they're not like cussing, and it's not like an adult cartoon like a Rick and Morty or some shit. So it's like it's pretty fun. Good watch.
Nice.
That's cool. It's cool to see. I still want to play Cuphead because
I know, me
I
too.
think me and Oscar, we have to somehow figure out a way to play it.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun to play together.
Yeah.
I need a real gamer. So if real gamers, reply in the comments.
Real ones only.
Reply in the email. Yeah, we want some gamers with a capital G only. To play
I played a little bit, and it's really hard.
Yeah. I watched the podcast. It was actually Funhouse podcast, where they actually talked to one of the guy that made the music for that show specifically.
Oh.
And I got to learn a lot of interesting stuff about that person. I know nothing about him. I think he did something for a cartoon as well. But one randomly interesting aside was the fact that he did not have any formal musical training before he got into this business.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
He doesn't even know scales or anything. He was just like, I feel what feels like it sounds right. And I got some inspiration from people that I liked that made this kind of music. I just went for it.
Awesome.
And then they touch it up in post, and that's how we make the music. And I was like, that's super inspiring
awesome. Yeah.
as someone, because I feel like you never expect people that don't know their scales to be able to make good music that just sounds so good. I will say,
I forgot to mention that was the theme song is hilarious. I love it. It was very catchy.
Well, that sounds like a good episode.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check that out, Brian.
So for my little thing, I've been trying very poorly to watch a movie a week because I don't watch movies very well because ADHD makes it impossible, which is why I will not watch the Batman anytime soon. Because holy fuck, movies should not be 18 hours long. That is despicable. I need an intermission. Anywho, other than that, I watched a movie this weekend. It's a movie that we talked about on the podcast a little bit before and some other free-for-alls, but it was Encanto. I finally sat down and watched that because it looked fun and
what'd you
cute.
think?
And I enjoyed it. I mean, I think it's Disney-fied, of course, and they do have a tendency to water down some pretty interesting allegories that they tend to add in things, which I know you have to because you don't have to, but they tend to do for children's sake. Let's not disrespect children. Children are way smarter than we think they are.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of wish we wouldn't hold back when it comes to talking about real issues, because I'm sure a lot of those children are going through them in real time.
Oh, yeah.
Which could be helpful. But no, I thought the movie was super cute. Under Pressure, great song.
Always the best one, man.
Yeah. That, and I know everyone's talking about Don't Talk About Bruno, but I heard that one. I was like, yeah, this shit slaps.
It's a great song.
It's just dope. Luisa was definitely my favorite character. She was dope. When she started feeling those soft feelings after being strong for so long, I was really feeling that really, really strongly. But no, I think it was a good movie. All in all, compared to Moana, I know a lot of people do it because they're both, but wasn't made by I learned a lot of the songs were made by the same person.
Yeah.
But I think I like this more than Moana personally.
Oh, really?
Moana didn't stick with me very long. I can't remember much of what even happened in that movie personally.
I feel like I can't remember anything that happened in Kanto. I'm glad you enjoyed it as much, but I feel like there's 2 events that happen in the whole movie. It's just half of the movie is exposition, which is something, but it was an interesting movie.
I do think it gets a little unrealistic when everyone starts apologizing and talking to each other, because I'm like, as someone of a family of color,
that's not how families work.
Grandma don't ever apologize; she just dies.
No,
Yeah.
From my personal experience, they take that shit to the grave with them. They know, oh, I forgot. I didn't realize I was just hurting you guys so much. No, grandma says, fuck you. She dies and you're not in the will. That's how it goes.
It turns out grandparents' generation is not great at introspection.
No, not at all.
Yes.
Yeah. But I get it had to be a
for
good
me, that
world.
whole resolution just came too easy for everybody. It was like, you hurt my feelings, and they're like, oh my gosh, let's forgive everybody.
Wait, we had a motherfucker hiding in the attic for 30 years.
Let's unpack this a little bit.
I love you. And he's like, okay, that's fine. I'll come back and move back.
I was mad. I was kind of mad they all got their powers back, because I'm like, if the whole point of this was that you didn't need powers, why not just have it end with they're all
I'm
just normal now?
I'm a little frustrated with the whole message. I get you talk about your feelings, even if it's uncomfortable, share things with your family, but there's no impact, I guess. It was a little empty.
I mean, if you hug your sister, you get your powers back. That's the end. I don't know. I think that you guys talking about it to me a little bit helped for me not have high expectations, and then also knowing it's a Disney movie is I knew that it wasn't going to be as deep as I probably would have wanted it to be. The
songs were good.
And that became fine.
It was a fun watch.
Yeah, they were very good. Yeah, the only one I didn't like was the Isabella one. I think her song was pretty boring.
I see. Hers was okay. I thought fucking Mirabelle, the main girl's song, was the weakest to me. And I think
you didn't like that one?
Mostly, I think she doesn't pull it off. I don't think her voice pulls it off enough.
That's
unfortunately.
fair. I can see where that comes from. I think I just was so charmed by her character that I was just excited to see that.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good
That's
movie.
cool, though.
I'm glad that I watched
Yeah.
it. I wasn't originally going to watch it. but
It's worth watching for sure, and it's great to see some representation up in here.
Yeah.
it's better than fucking Frozen. I said what I
That's
said.
fair.
Well,
I believe that.
let's move on. It's getting too heated.
We can't be sitting here debating Disney movies.
No, I could go on all day, honestly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, well, mine can be quick. So my girlfriend and I have been watching this show called Vikings of Valhalla on Netflix, and it's kind of like a soft.
Oh, the Assassin's Creed documentary.
No.
I'm just kidding. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, in a certain way, I guess, but no, like, it's kind of like a soft sequel to the History Channel Viking show, where like you learn about like Ragnar Lothbrok and his sons that, basically started attacking England and France and just basically brought Viking culture to, the to Western Europe and killed a lot of people and stole people and took their stuff. But yeah, so this one picks up like I think a couple hundred years after the events of that Viking show.
Oh, wow.
And like all those people are like legends now, and then you get to meet like new legends like King Canute and Leif Erikson, who apparently was actually did a lot more stuff than I need to check like some of the stuff for historical accuracy, but I think it's like pretty close. Like it's definitely pretty close to historically accurate. But the thing I love about it is that it's like 8 episodes and they just move like it's the plot starts off of like them like attacking London, and you think that would be like the whole season for like the old Viking show, but they handle that plot line 3 or 4 episodes in, and then you get to move on and see how characters go on after that. So I still have the finale to go, but I've been enjoying it so much.
Nice.
So it's a great show.
Is this on a streaming service?
Yeah, Netflix. Sorry.
Netflix. Okay. I think I saw it on my whatever list or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that Viking show is over. The original
The
Viking show
History
ended.
Channel one did, yeah.
Okay.
Like it started on History Channel, and then maybe went to Prime or something. I'm not sure, but
Right.
Very cool.
But that one's over, and then this one picks up just like So they definitely name drop a lot of like the characters.
Oh wow!
And you get to kind of see how the world was impacted by the actions of that first generation of Vikings. So
I see.
yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool.
That's cool.
So
Nice.
and I think they'll probably do a second season, third season.
Yeah, I think they've already
hope so.
picked it up for maybe 2 and 3. I think they're already Netflix already said they're going to do. So
Vikings are trending
I
right
hope
now.
so.
I
I hope
guess
they do.
So did Vikings do anything for the world other than like pillage and destroy communities and families?
I was like, no, just hard stop right there. Did Vikings do anything?
I mean, they fundamentally changed like England, and they founded like when Rollo, the descendants of Rollo, like the Normans, because France basically came to an agreement with some of the Vikings. They're like, listen, we're tired of fighting you guys. You guys are way better at fighting than us. We'll just give you like this spot called Normandy. Well, it came to be known as Normandy because Norman meant Northman. And then the Normans went on and changed complete history of Europe. Like they were active in like the Mediterranean. They were active in like North Africa, I think. Like a lot of them were like behind the Crusades or like involved in the Crusades. So they were very heavily involved in all of the history of medieval Europe.
Interesting.
Ever since then. And that's just the Normans. Like that's not even just like the Vikings overall of just Scandinavia. So yeah, they definitely. If you ever want to look into an interesting thing, just look up the history of the Normans and like just their impact on Europe. And the Mediterranean and like parts of Asia. It's pretty cool. Did a lot more than I thought they did.
Yeah,
sounds very very interesting for sure. Well, I'll go last. I have some very exciting news. It's a little left field from things that we generally talk about, but I am very excited and eager to share that Bambi and I are having a baby. It's true. I'm going to be a father.
It's true.
The secret's out. We're expecting, and baby is going to be here in June. That's right. Summer baby.
Man.
So important question.
Yes.
Is your baby going to be Marvel or DC?
Probably Marvel, like the rest of the population. I would assume.
I mean, not if I have anything to do with it. That baby's.
That baby's going to be Batman.
We'll
Wait a second.
We'll expose baby to the movies and things, and Baby's going to make an informed decision like everybody else, and it's probably going to be Marvel, you know?
Just based
Fair.
on quality.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's amazing.
we're very, very, very
That's really
excited,
awesome.
and I super duper cannot wait.
Hell yeah, man! Congratulations.
Yeah.
So basically, that means in June we may or may not have a lot of Alex appearing because
Yes,
he'll be on
yes.
baby
Time
duty.
time
Or
is
there'll just be a
precious.
baby in the background.
Yes, probably all those
Yeah.
things. Yeah, I'll be rocking baby. There'll be a little bit of crying in the background, and I'll be very, very sleepy, and it's going to be very great.
Both coming from Alex and the baby.
Yes. Yeah, I'll be crying. Baby will be crying. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. This is the best rested Alex we're going to get for the rest of
This
our
is right,
lives.
this is right.
I think so.
Yeah.
never
At
be
least
as
for
well
18
slept
more
again.
years.
It's gonna be great. I'm super
Yeah.
excited for parenthood. Bambi and I already have 2 puppies, but like it's gonna be so great to raise like a little human baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
can't wait for you to show the baby Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yes, hell yeah.
Like it's a rite of
I am
passage.
already super excited for baby to be a little gamer. I've been fantasizing about playing like
Mhm.
Mario Kart and easy things when baby's finally old enough.
Yes.
And just slowly introducing
Yes.
the RPG games, you know. Yeah, because
Baby's gonna be a wizard.
Bambi doesn't
Right.
play too many games, so I'm excited to, play some Mario Kart together with little babe.
Yeah. That's going to be
awesome.
so sick.
Yeah.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah. We're all very happy for you.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait.
Yay. That's it, everyone. That is our show for the week. You can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com. Fortress spelled FOUR. Feel free to email us any recommendations or any feedback you have, or just to say congrats to Alex on being a future dad.
Yay!
You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Fortress of, and the Fortress of YouTube channel. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Tell all the pregnant ladies and babies in the world. Just rub a belly. No, don't do
Don't
that.
rub
Uh,
Please ask for
Rub
consent
your
first.
Yes,
belly
please.
and pat your head and jump.
Yeah.
And you can do that.
If you can't do it, you're not allowed to rate the show.
Yeah, thanks guys for listening. If you want to follow me, you can check me out on Instagram at Peterson Films. You can also look at my website, petersonfilms.com, if you're interested in hiring me to shoot your next short film, music video, commercial. I'm out here doing DP things. That's Peterson spelled with an E, no O's, and my last name, homies.
Boom. You can also follow me at facebook.com/ITZ, by the way, or you can follow me on Instagram at ITZ_, by the way. Or you can follow me on twitch.tv/bythewayx.
Hey, you can follow me at DJ Lee.
He sounds so demoralized every
three,
time.
one.
he starts.
DJ Lee in the building.
DJ Lee.
I just abbreviated my initials,
Yeah, you should be a
I don't
DJ.
know.
That'd be a great
Just
name.
honestly,
It's true, yeah.
don't follow my Instagram. Like, it's not going to be a good addition to your feed.
No, I'm curious though, Devin. What kind of music would you play if you were a DJ? What kind of music would you be spinning on those ones and twos?
Dude, EDM for sure.
I was gonna
for
say it's just gonna be
sure.
remixes of Duel of the Fates over and over.
Yo, that could be sick though. Wait a second.
You get to do the build up thing and then like have the beat drop, It looks
Yeah.
like it's really fun to do.
You
that.
raise your hand up. You do the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaq does that
Love
as
it.
EDM, right? He's an EDM DJ. So I feel like
Yeah, he's into that. Idris Elba into it as well.
does
Wow.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah.
He's in the new Need for Speed game.
That's
Is that what it
weird.
is? Yeah. He's actually probably, they say he's pretty good at what he does. I don't know.
Pretty
Dope.
cool.
Cool.
Anywho, follow Idris Elba on Instagram.
At DJLee.com.
Yeah, so follow him instead.
Follow
Maybe I
him
should just
instead
start
of
plugging other accounts. Like every week, I'll just be like, hey, instead of in lieu of following me, you could follow this page,
recommended. Yeah.
the ASPCA.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell
Maybe
yeah.
give them some money.
That's the show, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for the music. Thank you, Brian, for the art. Devin, thank you for being here every week. Thank you, Jackie, for helping out at the podcast as well. Happy holidays, everyone. And put a coat on. It's cold out there because it fucking snowed. It's
It is
ridiculous.
cold
You
for
know,
sure.
it's-
Happy spring, everybody.
I don't know how it gets snow in fucking August, but it's fine.
Mhm.
Who's in August?
What? Oh,
Me?
All right, we'll see you next week in another episode of The Fortress, huh?
Do, 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 do.